Hey everybody, Christopher Bruce here with another COVID conversation. As you know, we're in a bit of a pandemic. So we're getting out there, we're getting lost in people's worlds, and we're trying to get a little bit of insight with how this whole thing is affecting people, not just in Delaware where we are, but all over the world. And with that being said, we've got my good buddy Nick Stone, professional video editor and ceramic artist from out in Hawaii. Nick, what's happening, man? How's it like out there? It's got to be kind of weird on the Big Island, or not? You're not on the Big Island, right? You're out. Where are you at?
Yeah, so I live in Honolulu, which is on Oahu.
Yes, a beautiful island. They all are. We're all jealous, basically, is what it comes down to. And with everything that's going on with COVID-19, what's it like? What's it like on the island and out in Hawaii versus on the mainland?
I think it's pretty similar to everywhere else. We also had the state go into the stay home, work home.
Yeah.
It was on April 1st. So it's been almost a month now.
Hmm.
We also, because Hawaii is a huge part of the industry, is a huge part of the economy is the tourist industry. It's definitely been a big impact here. From what I understand from reading in the newspapers, Hawaii used to get something like 30,000 people a day visiting, landing, and now it's down in just like 100, 200, and half of those are residents. I guess there are still some people visiting, which irritates, I think, some of the locals here. But for the most part, Waikiki is completely a ghost town. So.
Wow. That's amazing.
We have one of the highest unemployment rates right now because Waikiki employs so many people that all those hotels are just empty. So that's been
that's a tough thing for. I mean, think about the tourism industry and any kind of travel right now is pretty much screeched to a halt. I mean, outside of, like you said, I mean, think about that percentage. You say 100, maybe a couple hundred people a day landing as opposed to 30,000. I mean, that's a huge skew. That's a huge tip. How do businesses like that survive? And it's crazy.
Yeah, that's a good question. My partner, my girlfriend, she has a gelato store, and she closed for a bit, for a few weeks there. She's pretty popular with locals and people who live here, so she wasn't as affected as some other people were, some other places were. She recently opened back up again and is doing the takeout thing, so people come in, they get pints, and they call ahead, they order ahead, they do all that stuff. Other restaurants, maybe huge chunk is tourists, visitors, so they're just shut down. And I know that was like she talked to some of her other friends in the restaurant industry, and they just didn't know what to do in the beginning. Just straight to they basically laid off their kitchen staff and sent their their wait staff home and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I mean, it's very similar here. I mean, that's a lot of what's happened. We're in Wilmington, Delaware, and a lot of the restaurants and many shut down initially. Some stayed open and really tried to figure out the take home, or if they were already set up for takeout, they sort of stuck it out. But if you weren't, you kind of had to sort of wait it out, and you were hoping, well, how long is this going to last? You didn't know, but the longer it got, the more that unfortunate reality of what now is sort of sinking in, and you're starting to see restaurants get innovative and be able to deliver carry out options that maybe you would never have thought would have been a carry out type of place, higher end, higher scale type of restaurants. And that's the thing. It's forced all of our hands to kind of figure out ways to adapt and to kind of overcome the thing. Because we don't really know really when this is all going to settle down. And even when it does, what's going to happen then, right? What's the new normal? Like what exactly is going to happen with the restaurants? But, for you as an editor, right, you're a film editor, and with us, we have a production company. We do a lot of content and developing for clients. I know you're, similar in that case. You work with a lot of, corporate clients and a lot of different groups that are needing the content for various reasons. You have, it sounds like, a couple projects that are long-term, ongoing, thank goodness, because without that, obviously it'd be harder, but you're not picking up quick little easy gigs where you can go and run out, shoot some stuff, put it together and spit it out. I mean, that stuff's kind of not happening right now. So how's that working out for you?
Well, the two, I did pick up one short edit um, with a new client that I had talked to off and on, I guess, over the past few months, and I had one
Nice.
edit. So that was good. But one project that's more long term is a feature documentary that is more of like a passion project.
Cool.
And we had put together a shorter version of it, and so now is an opportunity for me to make more of the, I guess you'd say, more of the complete story.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great.
And it, and then also a short film. Some friends here shot as part of the There's sort of a collective of local filmmakers, and they shot a short, and that's one thing for me to edit now. And I've just sort of been taking my time with it. But then unfortunately, I would normally probably be going to the pottery studio, but it is a public space, and we do have lots of members. So unfortunately, I can't do any pottery. Otherwise, I would probably be going to the studio, several times a week instead of maybe once a week, like I would
Right.
once or twice a week. And then some other projects got pushed. Another project I've stopped working on because it's with an ad agency and they're all working from home and they like to come in and sit with me and work. So
Gotcha.
that one's on pause. And I know there's been some other ones like that they've been talking about doing, but I imagine that's going to be, I don't know when that's going to happen.
It's hard to know, right? I mean, we all want to forecast. We all want to be hopeful and be like, it'll come back, but we just have no idea. The reality is we just don't know. And unfortunately, that's just what it is. So, I think that one, I have a documentary I've been working on for too long, and we should probably talk about that, because if you're looking for stuff to do and you're bored, I've got plenty of footage for you to chew on if you really want something. Obviously, I'm half kidding, but we're in the similar boat. Like, we've had a couple little things that kind of popped up. Some of the stuff that we've had is based on and in reaction to COVID, right? So we've had some companies locally reach out to us to help craft messaging to address it. So, we got some restaurants that were opening up that wanted to let people know and do it in a way that was a little bit more professional. They could just do on their phone. And then others that are looking just to get creative and have some fun, and then, and so on and so forth. So, even amidst this, I think there's always opportunity despite the chaos, right? Despite, everything kind of in a way falling apart.
Yeah.
You're sitting back, rocking out some of the things you have. Are there things that are happening or you're seeing on your end that people are doing that have kind of impressed you? Like, is there anybody that that have like developed something from this, or maybe some things that have kind of happened because of this that are kind of really awesome and worth sharing?
That's a good question. I've seen some of it from sort of just from afar, but I don't. The thing about working as an editor is that you're typically pretty isolated, and so
I'm surprised that your room is as bright and cheery as it is. I thought it would be like a cave. It's all dark, and obviously where you are, it's nice and bright and sunny. Out where I'm over here on the East Coast, it's nighttime, but that's pretty warm and inviting, Nick. I mean, you're almost you're showing off over there. It's nice.
And every day I joke with my girlfriend, it's 82 and sunny here every day. Like when you look at the 5 day when your phone tells you 5 day, it's like high of 82 all the way across, sunny.
It's sort of like San Diego. It's the same thing, but it's 72 and sunny. And I've always joked this, like, what does a meteorologist do in a place like San Diego? It's like, well, it's going to be sunny today. It's 72, and well, there's no clouds. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what it is here. And then I used to work in dark rooms. I've edited in so many dark rooms in my life. I was just over it. I was done. I was tired of when I lived and worked in New York, you would be in these dark rooms, isolated in a building, and then you'd walk outside and you'd be like, oh, it's like really cold out, or it's really hot out, or it's been raining all day. and you just have like no idea. So I was kind of done with that, and so that's why I have this space with big windows and stuff like that. So I will never go back to the dark editing suite again. I think it's a mistake. I think it's hard on the eyes too, to be honest. Staring at
Yeah,
it.
that's true. I mean, because everything's around you is dark, and then you have this dark, screen that you're staring at, and then after a while, it's just your eye. It really does mess with your eyes. So
Yeah, it's kinda like it's pretty you don't realize it's uncomfortable until you get out of that space, and you're like, oh man, this is so much nicer, like sunny, and you can see like the day passing, and not just like go outside and be like, oh, especially in the winter time in New York when the sun would set at like 5:30 and it'd be dark, and you come out of work and it's like dark out, and it's like, man, this sucks.
yeah, what do they call that when you're working, and you only see the dark, right? It's like you're the reverse cycle. Was it like you're a mole or something? I forget, like, what is it's like mole living or something, but I've heard that before where people like they experience that where they never see the sunlight, and they're probably third shift, working the night shift, sleeping during the day, and like they just work that cycle. And I can't imagine
Yeah,
long term, at least, doing that. I mean, that has to have a negative effect on you for sure.
definitely. I think it's the seasonal affective disorder. I imagine that's what it's called. But
Yeah, no, it's not just seasonal. I just mean there's people that work in that like shift oriented mind where they're like mole people. I think is that what it's called? I think that's what it's called. Look that up. You can look that up. Mole people. Don't be a mole person if you can avoid it. My
yeah,
mom worked night shift for a long time. It's definitely not the healthiest thing in the world, but it is necessary and people do it. So not saying don't work the night shift. We need you. Just be careful. Get your sleep.
mhm.
Um, Yeah, so I mean, Hawaii, right? You think of Hawaii, you think, wow, this tropical paradise. And I'm like, man, I wish I could come and visit. But that doesn't seem like the right idea right now, right? You get on a plane, you trap yourself in it for X number of hours, multiple airports. When do you think, is there any indication on when the tourism might open up again? Have you guys heard anything in terms of from your end?
No, I don't. I don't know when they would open back up again. I think I was talking about this with some friends here. I think even when they do open it up, it's still going to be up to people, and people aren't going to travel if they don't think it's safe.
Right.
So even if they were to open it up tomorrow, I think there's still going to be the majority of people who are not going to travel. They're going to be like, you know what, I don't want to deal with this or take the risk or whatever it might be. So I think even if the economy and everything, as they say, everything would go back to normal immediately, I think there still would be this slope of people getting comfortable with the idea of being around other people.
Right.
Um, and so, and then on top of that, there's always the thing like, all right, some people are just not going to do anything until they receive a vaccine of some sort, I imagine. And then there's other people who are just like, oh, this is all overblown. And so they might be the first ones to do it.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. No, I mean,
there's like it's still going to be I think it's still going to be a personal choice for everyone, and I imagine that it's going to be people slowly getting comfortable with travel again. I don't know when they're going to open it back up. I mean, they're talking about having a staged, like right now everything's pretty much closed, but
so do
they
you
talk,
think that they'll do some kind of lottery? Like if you want to go, you have to like enter the lottery to travel to like Hawaii or anywhere like exotic, because people are all going to be craving, I think, to get out eventually, right? You're going to get people like this, like, I need to get away. I've been cooped up in my house for months. Who never knows how long this ends? And
yeah,
yeah, I mean, like you said, they may literally first come, first serve, limited availability kind of system, or who knows, maybe even. I
yeah.
mean, that's the kind of world where it's like crazy to think about, right? You're like, oh, I don't know, I want to go, but I can't because I didn't win.
It'll be interesting to see how people react, and then on top of that, right, they're it's seasonal, right? So it's going to come back again in the wintertime.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? It's like, I mean, you think flu season. Now there's a COVID season. Is that a thing? I mean, I guess we have to really start thinking about that.
Yeah, and then the other thing that I read in the Times was that remember when the H1N1 flu came out like a little while ago? That
Yeah.
apparently that apparently is like a remnant of the Spanish flu from like 100 years ago. That's what
Hmm.
it's eventually mutated into, or I guess survived into.
Right.
The way that it works, like the strongest versions of it, obviously they kill the people that they're in, so they don't survive. And then the weakest versions are the ones that continue to get passed along because they don't kill the host, right? So
Right. So it's like ultimately the weak become the strong in this case, right? So they sort of evolve and then flip.
yeah, so I guess eventually once we get um, herd immunity and vaccines, and then the strength of the flu or strength of the coronavirus weakens, then it'll be better. It'll be safe for everyone, I guess. But
Yeah,
I
I
don't know
mean,
if it's a year
definitely
away.
something that I know people are working on, and we'll just see how that works, how that works out. Obviously,
Yeah,
it's crazy. I mean, you think about all the gathering. You travel, you think about people in tight spaces, and then you think about all the other things. You think about movie theaters. You think about regular stage theaters and in music halls and stadiums and arenas and all these things that rely on groups of people coming together and
yeah,
a vast amount of the entertainment in which humans enjoy outside of digital streaming platforms, because obviously we're all crushing that right now and breaking the internet is pretty
yeah,
much our new hobby. That to think that there won't be sports or there won't be the ability to go to a movie theater or a play or something is pretty ridiculously crazy to think about. Like, what's we're both in a lot of ways been in the entertainment business for a long time. It's pretty wild.
yeah. Football games without a crowd, empty stadium. That would be pretty strange to watch, for sure.
I mean, I guess sound design is going to be really important, right? So think about that. Like you're gonna because it part of the atmosphere and even what you feel at home is a lot of that crowd noise and
Yeah,
there's I can't imagine them not taking on that task of designing that experience and just creating it because it won't be the same without think about even sitcoms from way back. The laugh tracks were hugely
yeah,
impactful and important to driving that and creating that moment at home because without the laugh track, even if it's funny, it won't have it, it's proven, right? It just works.
well,
That's gonna be interesting.
it'd be really interesting to hear what a basketball game or a hockey game or a football game sounds like.
Well, it would be nothing but sneaker sounds. Imagine I've actually it's funny. One of my TVs had this weird issue where it would separate the audio and it would like all of a sudden you wouldn't hear the commentator, but you would just hear like the one layer and it was all like sneaker sounds. And I feel like that's what it'll be like. And it was the weirdest thing. And it would always, if I just changed the channel, went back, it would fix itself. I have no idea why this happened, but I guess I got a glimpse into the future. And I just didn't realize until now that that's what it was doing. It was preparing me for sports without fans.
I would take sports without fans if that's the option. If it's
I'd
no,
rather have it than not.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think there's much of a choice. I mean, like, it would be really rough to go a whole another year, I guess, to skip a season. That'd be pretty rough. I can't imagine they're going to want to do that anyways because it's just too much of a money, too
No,
much.
there's way too much equity in these teams and these brands and these
Yeah,
fandoms and everything they've invested over the decades and years to really build it up to the point. I mean, it will slowly die off the longer it's out. I mean, as much as fans and we love it, it doesn't matter. I mean, anything,
yeah.
out of sight, out of mind. It's unfortunate, but yeah, they're definitely not going to let that happen. I mean, there's way too much money, way too much money involved. You'd imagine.
So it'll be fun to watch. I think at first it might be a little weird, but I think we'll
Yeah.
just get so.
Well, hey man. I mean, at some point, I'd love to come out to see you and enjoy some sunshine out in Hawaii. That perfect 82 degrees and sunny. It sounds pretty good.
Yeah, 82 and sunny,
It's
basically.
not bad. Not too bad. So is the pineapple better in Hawaii? That's the real question.
Um, that's a good. I assume so. To be honest, I didn't eat a lot of pineapple when I didn't live here. When I lived in New York, I wasn't like buying pineapples at the store. But here, they're cheaper. They're definitely cheaper, and they are very good. I probably get one. Well, I used to get them pretty often. We haven't done too many Costco runs. Costco has the best price on pineapple in Hawaii, by the way. So we haven't
So
gone.
those who are wondering at home, if you can get to Hawaii and go to
Yeah,
Costco, that's the best place to get pineapple.
that's the best pineapple. They're the biggest and the cheapest, and they taste great. So
Awesome.
yeah,
Well, maybe someday we'll be able to come out there and test out that theory. I'll have to pack one in my bag and we can compare or something. But dude, I appreciate it. Stay safe, stay healthy. Let's stay connected, and we'll see where all this, how it all shakes out. Sports Without Fans. Hopefully, get some video projects in. Hopefully, people start to get more comfortable, and they come up with some kind of vaccine, and we can get ahead of this thing. That's the goal. So I appreciate the time. Um, Again, everybody, that is Nick Stone. You can find him on Etsy. What's the name of the Etsy channel you've got going on?
a work of stoneware.
A Work of Stoneware. So you guys get it. It's a play off his last name.
Mm-hmm.
My new daughter, Katie Beth, is just wanting to get in on the show here. So you hear her in the background. I got to go and entertain her for a bit. So we gotta run. We'll see you next time on A COVID Conversation.